to win Mass Millions tonight at 11:07 on UPN 38.
15 seconds. Stand by A. 10 seconds. Stand by camera 4.
Play. Mike, Q.
3, 2, 1.
Now, from the WBZ4 studios, this is the 7 o'clock news on UPN 38.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kim Kerrigan.
And I'm Jack Williams. Thank you for joining us for the 7 o'clock news. Here's what's happening. It's the final push before the primary. These are live pictures as candidates for the 9th District rally for some last-minute support.
Israelis and Palestinians prepare to sit down and negotiate amid the most fierce fighting in months.
Controversy tonight for a Boston memorial dedicated to fallen soldiers after the city removes a veteran's name.
And just call him the Granite State Primate. We have the latest on the search for a monkey who looks like this guy. That's still to come right here on the 7 o'clock news. But first, let's get our top story at this hour. The polls open in less than 12 hours in the race for the 9th Congressional District.
And WBZ's Ron Sanders is live now in Dorchester, where candidates are stumping rather hard for last-minute support. Ron.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of sweat on everybody's brow here, Jack, as they're doing that. This whirlwind campaign in the Democratic primary for the 9th District seat vacated by the untimely death of Joe Moakley ends on some sour notes between the quartet of state senators who are vying for election. But the same tune is being sung by all of them, and it's called Get Out the Vote.
Oh, we ain't got a barrel of money.
Mark Pacheco says he may not be as well financed as his rivals, but he claims support from public employee unions, including teachers.
Good steaks and fair.
Steve Lynch, who portrays himself as the lunch bucket Democrat from Joe Moakley's traditional base, South Boston, enjoys support of big labor, such as the AFL-CIO. He has a solid lead in most polls. Cheryl Jakes' campaign says a late surge is narrowing Lynch's lead.
So now it's how are we different? And for example, we are very different, Steve Lynch and I, on protecting a woman's right to choose. I have always supported that. I will always lead in supporting that. Steve has always tried to make that illegal. He will join with Republican extremists to make that illegal. It's a huge difference between the two of us, and it helps voters decide.
It's a very difficult issue, and I have complete respect for people who arrive at a different conclusion than I do. I don't demonize them. I understand. And I think that's the difference, really, in who we are as candidates.
Lynch says he is not a one-issue candidate, but one who is concerned about bread-and-butter issues, jobs, the economy, health care.
How you doing? Good, yourself? Very well, thank you. Doing better if you...
Brian Joyce says his internal numbers show what he calls Jakes' inaccurate negative campaigning against him on abortion has backfired.
Our internal polling also has shown me pulling away from her, and the undecided is clearly not going her way. So, you know, we're very, very happy.
Interestingly, Jake says if she doesn't win, she'll support the winner of the Democratic primary here, even if it's Steve Lynch, because she is a Democrat. The winner of that primary is the automatic favorite in the general election because this is a heavily Democratic district. The two Republican candidates, State Senator Joanne Sprague and Bill McKinney, are expected to appear at this rally here tonight, Jack. So far, we've seen only McKinney. Live in Dorchester, Ron Sanders, WBZ4 News. Jack?
Well, a lot of supporters out there, Ron. Thank you. Taking you beyond the headlines for more on tomorrow's vote, the 9th Congressional District stretches from Boston southward, covering 14 Bay State communities. There are more than 403,000 registered voters in the district. The Secretary of State originally expected a low voter turnout tomorrow, but now he says the race has generated some surprising interest. Stay with WBZ for complete coverage of Election Day tomorrow as voters narrow down the field of candidates looking to fill Joe Moakley's seat in Congress.
The attorney for triple murder suspect Gary Sampson wants a judge to force prosecutors to turn over phone records in that case. She says the records will prove her client's story, that he tried to surrender before going on a deadly crime spree.
Called the FBI last week to surrender?
Yes, sir, I did.
What happened?
They didn't show up.
Sampson's attorney says reliable sources tell her the call was made from an Abington payphone. Stephanie Page tells the Associated Press Mr. Sampson has always maintained that he made that telephone call to the FBI. Sampson claims he desperately wanted to turn himself into authorities the day before any of those tragedies happened. Page will file a motion Wednesday during a pretrial conference in Brockton District Court. She'll ask prosecutors to turn over records verifying the call.
Tonight, Israeli and Palestinian leaders are preparing to renew negotiations aimed at trying to end months of bloodshed there. Israeli Foreign Minister Shimon Peres will sit down with Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat tomorrow, despite some of the worst attacks in recent history. Scenes like this one play out over and over in the region. This is believed to be the work of a suicide bomber, the first carried out by an Israeli Arab. The bomber struck a crowded train station Sunday, killing himself along with 3 others and injuring dozens more. The same day, 2 Israeli teachers are killed in a drive-by shooting. These latest incidents are straining nerves in patients already wearing thin.
We consider this a very grave attack against peaceful teachers trying to do their educational job, and certainly this is an aggravated assault which could lead to more deterioration in the situation, which, as we know, is already tense and difficult.
But even as officials agree to the talks and Secretary of State Colin Powell continues to work the phones and push for the meeting, some of those at ground zero are digging in.
We will continue our resistance to any point, to any place where we can reach this enemy until the Israeli government be convinced of a withdrawal from our territories.
And this morning, the fighting continued. Some of the scars can be seen in the classrooms as these Palestinian school children are forced to learn their lessons in rooms riddled with bullet holes. The location of the talks has not been decided yet. Over the past 11 months, more than 700 Israelis and Palestinians have been killed in fighting.
He fought for 2 decades to prove his innocence, and tonight a man wrongly convicted of murder is improving after a bad accident. Ken Waters has been upgraded to stable condition. He's been in intensive care since falling from this 15-foot fence outside his home in Providence last week. A sister who used DNA to help free her brother from prison last March says Waters is a survivor.
We have faith, and we have faith in Kenny. We know Kenny's very strong. He's a fighter, he's a survivor, and we have faith in him. He's been through a lot, and I think he'll come through this too.
Betty Ann Waters says her brother will soon be moved to his own room.
Well, the school year has just begun, and already some college kids have learned a pretty tough lesson. They spent today in court after police arrested them trying to buy alcohol, all part of the city's annual crackdown on underage drinking. The students will have to pay a fine, perform community service, attend AA meetings, and get this, get a signed statement from their parents. A WBZ follow-up to a story we told you about Friday. Authorities say tips are pouring in as they search for a mother who left her newborn in a Springfield church. The child was found crying in one of the church's pews. Officials want to locate the mother before putting that little baby up for adoption.
Just ahead on the 7 o'clock news, what's the biggest epidemic facing today's children? We have surprising results from a new study.
Police say that he was on a mission to kill. Tonight, new information on this mass murder suspect in Sacramento.
And we'll get the latest numbers on Wall Street, where investors are still reeling from last week's wild ride.
A small town in New Hampshire has gone ape. I'm Shelley Lockhart. We'll tell you that story at 7:25.
Good evening, everybody. I'm meteorologist Melissa Bell. We've got a cold front on its way across New England as we speak, so it is producing scattered showers across the central part of the state around Worcester. So when you're stepping out this evening, make sure you have the umbrella with you. Now, what can you expect tomorrow? I'll have the complete forecast coming up just a little bit when the 7 o'clock news continues.
Reinvented Camry. Trust us, you're going to want one.
I think that's about everything we need to close this equity loan. If you'll just sign where I've marked these pages.
Great. I really appreciate you coming by.
Miss Cooper, it's not at all uncommon for us to visit our customers in their homes, if that's best for them.
Yeah, I know.
This is something we do for lots of customers.
Yeah, I know.
Cheryl Jakes worked her way through college and law school, battled crime as a tough criminal prosecutor, and was elected to the state senate to make our neighborhoods safe and secure. Now the Boston Globe endorses Cheryl Jakes' campaign for Congress, citing her command of the issues and her combination of spine and heart. So on Tuesday, join Cheryl's campaign to keep our streets safe and protect a woman's right to choose. Cheryl Jakes, Congress.
We're gonna go do some errands for Mama today. Oh, what is that? Oh, we're gonna go for a ride. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
The 2002 Accord from Honda. You can't explain it until you have one of your own.
Now lease a 2002 Accord LX for $239 a month for 39 months.
Now, the 7 o'clock news on UPN 38.
Police say a California man was on a mission to kill. Tonight, he and 4 other people are dead. It's believed Joseph Ferguson shot 4 of his co-workers, one of them his ex-girlfriend, before turning the gun on himself. This home video was made by Ferguson while he held 2 people hostage during this ordeal. Police say Ferguson was upset after being suspended from his job and breaking up with his girlfriend.
There's some disturbing news tonight concerning the exploitation of American children. A new study finds more than 300,000 children, or 1 in 100, are victims of prostitution or pornography. Researchers say it's one of the biggest problems facing today's youth.
This is an epidemic from our point of view, mostly because the problem has not been recognized or diagnosed before. It has been off the radar screens and mostly hidden.
That study was done by the National Association of Social Workers and the University of Pennsylvania.
On the market watch, a welcome reprieve for weary investors. When the closing bell rang tonight, not much of anything had happened today. The Dow finished down less than a point at 96.05. The NASDAQ was up 7 points at 1695. But it could be a rocky ride a little later this week when a batch of new economic numbers, including retail sales figures, are released. Tonight, President Bush is urging Congress to put partisan politics aside when it comes to education.
The House and the Senate have rival education plans for improving testing and school accountability. During a visit to a Florida elementary school, the president urged Congress to patch up its differences for the sake of America's children.
We understand that an educated child is one that is much more likely to realize the great American experience. And it is so important that we get it right in America.
Well, the House and the Senate plans have sharply different price tags. They are now caught up in the budget talks.
Just ahead on the 7 o'clock news, a battle over a Boston War Memorial after a veteran's name is removed by the city. We'll tell you why.
Is the sound of slots coming to the Bay States? It tails on a key vote on a casino plan set for tonight. And the Rocket shoots for his 20th win at the Red Sox expense. Boo. The story is next when the 7 o'clock news continues.
Strikeouts for Clemens, 1 out here in the third.
My name is Darryl Killebrew. I'm working here at Blue Cross and Blue Shield. We roll up our sleeves no matter what it takes. You need to go that extra mile. Good afternoon, this is Darryl from Blue Cross Blue Shield. How can I help you today? You're going to get the negative phone calls from time to time, but we just don't sit on it. We act upon it. We call back, we resolve the problem, and we let the member know the status each step of the way. Our number one goal is to satisfy the member.
Think you're tough enough to drive a Tacoma? Join the club.
Consumer Auto Parts, Lappin's Discount Auto Parts. Two different companies who for a limited time have combined 40 store buying power to bring you these great buys. Save on Gabriel Gas Rider LT, the best gas charge shocks for your truck, van, or SUV. Save $10 a set on Metalaser SUV disc brake pads, the best you can get for your truck or SUV. Shop Lappin's Discount Auto Parts in Eastern Mass or Consumer Auto Parts in Central and Western Mass for unmatched savings, selection, and personal service.
I want to tell you about my brother-in-law. He made one of the toughest choices a person can make. He donated part of his liver to me. He didn't have to, but he wanted to. His name is Stephen Lynch, and I'm telling you this story not because I own my life, but because I know the difference he can make in yours.
Longest-lasting full-size pickup on the road now comes with an incredible short-term offer. Get up to $5,000 in finance savings on Dodge Ram or $2,000 cash allowance, plus factory-to-dealer incentives that could save you even more. See, compare, drive, Dodge during the Team Dodge sales event. Now, the 7 o'clock news on UPN 38.
A move that changed the Boston Vietnam Memorial is stirring controversy tonight. Some local veterans are angry because the name of a highly decorated Marine has been removed from the site. Thomas Casey Jr.'s name was taken off the monument last spring when officials learned that the Boston native had moved to Milton just before joining the Marines. A local veteran spokesman says the monument is dedicated only to soldiers who lived in Boston.
Mr. Casey's name appears on Milton's plaque, which honors the Milton KIAs. They also had a ballpark dedicated to him, which Paul Evans told me that he attended. So it's not a question of not honoring Mr. Casey. It's a question that we put his name on mistakenly.
And a recent study suggests that there may be as many as 13 Bostonians whose names should be on the monument, but are not.
It's so far so good for the MBTA's new night owl service. In fact, the late night bus route was such a hit, they carried 3 times the number of riders the T expected during its first weekend. The night owl runs along the major subway lines and 10 bus routes until 2:30 in the morning. That gives riders 90 extra minutes before they have to catch the last bus. Will a new casino be coming to Central Massachusetts?
Some people who live there say not if they can help it. The Nipmuc Indian tribe wants to build the casino in Sturbridge. That town already has rejected the plan, and tonight Southbridge is expected to vote. Charlton will hold its first hearing tomorrow night. A change of ownership of one of New England's major ski resorts tonight. Sugarbush, Vermont is being sold by American Ski Company of Maine to Summit Ventures for an undisclosed price. The CEO at American Skiing says Sugarbush was not for sale, but the company received an unsolicited offer it simply could not refuse. Just last week, American Skiing announced a new restructuring plan.
Bob Lobel in with us now. Is the baseball season over yet, Bob? We just need to
well, it is here in Boston. I mean, you know, where the Red Sox finish at Fenway on October 3rd. That's it. All right. They're trying one more time against the Yankees tonight. It is raining in New York right now. It's supposed to stop because it always has. The Red Sox have lost 13 of their last 14, and tonight Roger Clemens is trying to become the first pitcher ever to start a season 20-1. That's ever. But manager Joe Kerrigan held a team meeting before the game, so I guess that should make everything okay, right? Meanwhile, everything's not okay with the Patriots. They opened their season in Cincinnati yesterday. It's not that they lost the opener 23-17. It's that they lost to the Bengals. That's what hurts so much. They opened a 10-3 lead in the second quarter. Bledsoe to Troy Brown, but the Bengals scored the next 20 points, including 7 on a John Kitna pass. I mean, John Kitna, please. Like I said, it's not that they lost. It's who they lost to. Belichick 0 for 5 in September.
It's one game, it's a loss. It hurts. We're frustrated. We're hurt by it. But really the key for us is how we respond now, how we come back and go to work. And really something like this can go one of two ways.
All right, well, one of two ways. You only hope it's my way or the highway. That's one of two ways. All right, Kim.
Let's hope things get a little brighter, huh?
You know, they better.
All right, Bob, thanks.
It is a little depressing. Just ahead on the 7 o'clock news, have even Hurricane Erin is staying away from the Bay State. The Bay State seashore could still be taking a big beating tomorrow. We'll get you the full forecast coming up.
Also ahead, a rare monkey on the run just over the Massachusetts border. We'll have the latest next in a full report. But first, let's get an update on what's coming up tonight at 11 o'clock.
Good evening, everyone. Coming up on WBZ4 News tonight at 11, the final drive for votes in the 9th Congressional District. Find out how the candidates are courting voters. And modern-day slavery in Africa. Tonight, WBZ's Liz Walker travels to Sudan with a group of local ministers fighting for freedom. It's a moving three-part series starting tonight only on WBZ4 News at 11.
The Condit controversy comes to TV in the drama series that mirrors the Chandra Levy mystery.
I had nothing to do with her disappearance.
Plus, Sarah Jessica Parker shows off her bras and hand plastic surgery. Next ET.
Now also on UPN 38 tonight at 10.
WBZ means news.
WBZ means reporting with integrity. WBZ means gaining your trust the right way. We earn it. WBZ4 News.
WBZ means news.
You don't have to pay any price. You don't have to give up all you got. Just run on over to your Nissan dealer. It's the Nissan Model Year-End Sales Event. Get low 0.9% financing plus $1,500 cash back on the Nissan Pathfinder. The Nissan Model Year-End Sales Event. You don't have to wait another minute for the car you've always wanted. Ends October 1st. Nissan. Driven.
All successful businesses have a focus. At Easton Butcher Block, ours is to supply customers with upscale, solid hardwood, quality furniture at reasonable prices. Hi, I'm Joel Scanlon, and all of us at Easton Butcher Block are proud to introduce our new Barrington collection. I'm sure you'll agree these are the finest dining sets we've made yet. Hand-rubbed antique finish, 3 new leg styles, self-storing leaves, and a harvest drawer.
So why not stop by and see it for yourself at any one of our Easton Butcher Block or Great Woods locations.
Decide on a better way to resolve your differences with the help of VerizonSuperPages.com.
Why don't we start by opening up and sharing our feelings with one another? Okay, Mo. I was thinking more emotionally. Excellent.
Superpages.com. Better pages for better decisions. Verizon.
On back, that's good. Watch the truck there.
Yeah, thanks to its 32-valve I-Force V8 and single-piece frame rails with 9 cross members, the Toyota Tundra can carry up to 2,000 pounds of whatever.
Okay, she's loaded. Good. Now let's go back and build me some girlfriends.
The Toyota Tundra. Better from the ground up.
Step on it, Bob. Just because you're single doesn't mean I have to be.
Next at 7:30, Frasier is on UPN 38, and Entertainment Tonight is on WBZ4. Now, the 7 o'clock news on UPN 38.
We have had some remarkable weather these last couple of days, and this evening you can see some clouds starting to move in, but that's not such a bad thing, Jeff.
That's a beautiful sight of Boston from the Charles River. Got to kind of like that. Meanwhile, it's raining in New York, which does not make us shed a tear. Is that coming our way, Melissa?
Yes, it is. That's the same line of shower activity that is going to be heading into the Boston area. But what's interesting, if you're noticing the clouds fill in, if you're in Metro West, well, that's because of our front. But if you're down on Cape Cod and Nantucket, the clouds that you're experiencing, it's not from the front. That is from Hurricane Erin. Yep, already we're starting to see the clouds filter up across the coastal areas. But nonetheless, we will see beneficial rainfall over the next several hours. You can see right now a larger cluster heading in around the Worcester area, and then patchy still back behind it. I would say this will all move in towards Boston around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and then during the early morning hours, we'll see the front push off the Cape. Current temperature 77 degrees in Boston, 72 Hyannis, Providence at 76 after we were up in the 80s this afternoon. So overnight temperatures should be falling back into the lower 60s for Boston, down towards Cape Cod, and north and west of town, it will be a little bit cooler and drier because as that front does push off the Cape, we're going to get a push of drier and cooler air in from the northwest. So it really should feel pretty nice for us tomorrow. This dry air will stick around for a couple of days. That means plenty of sunshine. Now, this front is very important as far as the forecast for Erin goes. It is going to be a big steering mechanism to keep Erin well offshore. Now, high temperatures tomorrow, we're going to be in the upper 70s for Boston, Brockton, and Hyannis, only in the mid-70s for Manchester and also for Portsmouth. And I say the next few days, actually, we will be cooling down. Now, right now, Hurricane Erin is still a pretty strong hurricane. The max wind's 115 miles an hour, but the forecast track has it recurving and staying out to sea. But still, having said that, it will turn our seas pretty rough over the next couple of days. Seas 3 to 6 feet. So that means we've got to contend with rough surf and also riptides. So just because it may look beautiful to head to the beach, please be warned, be careful. Next couple of days, it will be pretty rough. Otherwise, 77 the high, 73 on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, another front comes in, a few showers then. But behind that front, Friday and Saturday, only in the 60s.
That's fall.
So we're going to go from like summer to fall in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's been rather humid lately and rather warm. Now we'll brace ourselves. Thank you, Melissa. The search is on in New Hampshire tonight for a lost primate, and we're not going to monkey around.
It seems a rare monkey is on the loose in Danville, just over the Massachusetts border. As WBZ's Shelley Lockhart reports, searchers need to find this animal before the temperatures drop too low.
This will attract him to the area and let him know that there is food for him out here.
Strange sights. And I looked up as I was walking with my daughter, and I looked away because I thought, I am just going crazy. Strange sounds.
It was like a high-pitched squeal. It was like a rah!
In the last 2 weeks, residents in the town of Danville have been doing double takes.
When I saw it, I just told myself that that isn't any animal that I'm accustomed to seeing around here.
A Humboldt woolly monkey like this one has been hanging around the woods.
I was just very concerned that he was out there by himself in a very strange environment. He shouldn't be in this area. And I couldn't just sit by and do nothing and leave the poor thing out there, so I decided to try and help him.
Woolly monkeys are native to South America, so the animal control officer believes the monkey was someone's pet.
Monkeys, like I said, have the intelligence of a 3-year-old. Quite busy little monkeys. Maybe someone just had enough and said, you're out the door.
He's now the most wanted guy in town, not because the monkey is dangerous, but because his health could be at risk.
They have very thin lungs, being from South America, and they'll catch a cold and eventually get pneumonia and die. So our biggest concern right now is to try to catch it and get it out of the cold.
The leaves are already beginning to change here in New Hampshire, so animal rescuers know they only have a short window of time to find the monkey and get it out of the cold. In Danville, New Hampshire, Shelley Lockhart, WBZ 4 News.
Let's hope that little guy knows what's good for him and shows up, huh?
Especially before Friday.
You bet. That's going to take care of the very latest information. Thank you for watching, and be sure to tune in to WBZ 4 News at 11 o'clock.
We'll be back tomorrow on WBZ 4 News at 5 o'clock, then right here at 7 o'clock news on UPN 38. Good night. Thanks for watching.
Surprise! It's Daphne's least favorite brother. And he's making himself right at home.
Your brother is in my bed, nude!
Cheerio!
I need a drink, a big one!
On Frasier.
Tonight at 7:30 on UPN 38.